Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we're starting Rise of the Tomb Raider. Or to be more accurate, I'm restarting it because I simply did not have enough GPU power to have the graphics set as high as NVIDIA Experience recommended. It does seem to work on high, so I've played several hours of this game. In fact, well over 13%, 14-15% of the game, according to itself, and the game just unfairly looked laggy because of the way it was recording, and that just depicts the game inaccurately. And what's the point of me being a critic or reviewer or even news reporter if I'm going to get the facts wrong because of my own recording software? When you first launch this game, are a lot of pop-ups for DLC, particularly if you get the Game of the Year edition. There's a lot of stuff in the gameplay built around the store and the expedition mode. Every single thing here is Game of the Year edition outfits, and there was a bunch of card packs that you can unlock, and I'll show you the cards whenever I start doing expeditions. But you basically open a card pack like this. It's such a crammed in multiplayer system. Like, these cards have nothing to do with the main video game. It's just elements, and sometimes it's just skins. You can sell the cards to get more credits. Apparently playing some of the main game has given me some credits to allow me to potentially buy like a silver pack of random cards right now. This Croft Manor element doesn't unlock until later on in the game, when you're about 10% into the game, to do the new story and blood ties. It seems crazy. On top of the lagginess, I also had audio issues where it was just too quiet. So we're going to begin, but we're also going to have a bit of an accelerated experience, which is fine because it's not like the first part of this game is that good anyways. It's actually rather bad. Now, decisions. I've started on Tomb Raider before. A good balance of difficulty. Combat has aim assistance disabled. Enemies have normal health and damage. Whereas the rest of these are kind of crazy, and like, I think you're probably fine to play Tomb Raider even if you were not even that good at games. Like, there's a certain point where the very first tomb you run into, they let you just skip completely because they're being rather nice. Or they just don't have confidence in their tomb, or other players to solve a puzzle. But that's not even where the difficulty is going
beyond the boundaries of
to have
human
it.
experience.
The difficulty will be when you're fighting enemies, which is just going to spike
As
and
children,
go away
we question the world around
very
us.
randomly.
We learn, we accept, and gradually we lose our capacity for wonder. But some do not. The explorers, the seekers of truth. It is these pioneers who define the future of mankind.
So, there's a weird flash forward and flash back in this whole section. Like,
the others,
this part here.
they're done. No amount of money is going to get them through those mountains.
This might be at the end of the game. This might be way in the future.
I'm not turning back.
Way in the past.
I know.
You should stay here with them.
Not a chance.
Now, Rise of the Tomb Raider was very much a graphics card pusher. It was the reason you were getting NVIDIA graphics card driver updates for many months when it came out. But it actually doesn't look that good. Even a couple years old.
You're almost there.
It's a little cartoony.
Wait till you see this view, Lara.
And it's not
Take my
as
hand.
realistic as you like. And for all their effort in graphics, the gameplay is also very is more lacking.
It's amazing. But the snow coming off those peaks is a bad sign.
So you do this tutorial mission, and there's no reason to do the tutorial
trail leads
mission
up the
here at
mountain.
all, because then you
We'll
end
have
up
a good
doing
view of the
another
valley beyond
tutorial
from the
mission
summit.
after this.
All right, let's take it easy here.
Take note that the snow is getting footprints on when she walks in
This
it,
wind is crazy.
but
We just need to
it's
keep
not
moving.
really programmed right, so it doesn't look natural. It feels like you're dragging your feet, and sometimes your feet settles down to compact the powder into ice, and sometimes it just looks a little awkward. It's an element that I think you could have just
Even if we don't find anything up here,
not programmed for it all.
I know, but I have a good feeling about this.
And yeah, you end up in this snow area, then you go to a second tutorial section where you're in a desert area, and then you end up back in the snow area. It's just bad storytelling. That's something you might do in a book.
Oh, shit!
you
But
okay?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Lost my footing.
I definitely
I'm
wouldn't
fine.
recommend it in a video game. It's just easier to tell a straight story instead of flashbacks and flash forwards. So here's your first quick time. Save yourself with the Xbox.
That was close.
All of this is just a tutorial on
Jonah! I'm
pressing
here!
X to save
I'll
yourself,
climb down there and get you.
walking,
It's
and
too
pressing A to
dangerous!
jump. It just shows
I
an
can climb back
incredible
Are you sure?
lack of
Just
understanding
stay put!
of what the level of skill video game players are going to have that are playing this game. Like, Rydo Tomb Raider is the sequel to the reboot of the series, of a long-running series of Tomb Raider games. The idea that you really need to tutorialize people around the idea of walking with the left stick, pressing A to jump, is really ridiculous. There's no new generation of players where their first game is going to be Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Okay. Now grab my hand.
Now, if you miss, you're just going to slide back down. But you have to push left, which seems a little awkward, because it feels more like you'd be pushing upward to jump up, but you push left, and then you hit A, and he grabs you. And you're introduced to Jonah.
Shit, Lara.
And
You're gonna give me a
Jonah
heart attack.
pretty much disappears
okay?
from the story for at least the first 15% of the game where
Come
I
on.
stopped. He plays no role. There are some indications that you will eventually...
Looks like we gotta go through.
You will eventually have somebody you're working with every now and then, but no single person permanently as a partner.
Not bad. If the weather turns...
Press A to mantle. Again, not necessary.
Do you really think we'll find this lost city?
I know this is a long shot, but that old tracker said he saw ruins up in these mountains.
You're really not doing a lot. And you saw I got some XP for doing that first section.
I guess if I was gonna hide a lost city, this might be the kind of godforsaken place I'd do it.
There's an interesting thought here in that you're getting XP and you eventually use that XP to unlock skills. But they're sort of the same skills or similar skills.
I just hope Trinity hasn't beaten us to it.
So did Lara hit her head and forget all of the skills that
Storm's
she should
getting
have
closer.
now?
We have a couple hours at most.
Apparently.
Should be enough time. We're almost to the top.
They mentioned Trinity, who will be the bad guys. We'll see more of them. The snow, deep snow and shallow snow is going to play a role in a few areas.
What do you
but not
think?
a lot.
We're close to something, Jonah. I can feel it. Just this last stretch to the top.
All right. Let's see what's up there.
This is interesting. He hooks onto her without saying a word to her.
Feels pretty solid here, but keep close to the wall.
I feel like that you would want to say
Okay.
something before you snuck up on somebody on an icy path, just in case they
Looks like we
freaked
climb
out.
from here.
Keep your eyes open for falling ice.
Right. You ready?
Let's do it.
So you hit A and then press X. There's some of this ice climbing stuff took a while to unlock in the first game. So
Let's take it slow
it is
and
nice
steady.
that you
Just
have
stay
it
with
just
me.
by default.
Look out!
Oh shit!
But
That was close.
mostly this is just in-game cutscenes. And this feels like a demo, which is odd because this wasn't, to my knowledge, the demo that they ended up showing. The section after this was the demo that got shown many times. And this game got delayed, and in the process of it getting delayed,
Jonah!
it managed to lose
I'm
my
ready to dig in.
interest, if not a
Can
lot
you
of
make
other
it across?
people's
I
interest.
can make it!
Holy shit! I don't think I can make that jump.
And see, now I'm
Stay
moving
there.
a little bit
I'll anchor a
faster,
line for you at the
so
top.
you may not
All
have
right,
even seen
I'll give you
the
some
X
slack.
prompt.
Almost there, Lara.
I needed to
You
stay
got
to
it.
press to stabilize myself. This game is slightly a weird mix of both very mild platforming and hunting. Hunting is, for what I've seen, overemphasized.
Jonah!
There's
We
also
made
some
it.
stealth
I see the
missions
ruins!
that
Oh god!
happen maybe a slightly more frequently. You almost have to wonder if
I got you.
maybe at a certain
Can you hear
point she
me?
just dreams
Yeah.
a lot of the
I'm gonna pull you back
flashback
up.
sections
Oh, fuck!
as an excuse for explaining how you
There!
might die and not
Over
be
there!
allowed to reload.
Quick! Swing me to the other side!
Okay, here goes.
Now this swinging section is interesting because you don't really do this again at all.
No!
It's pre-programmed to only work, by the way,
Lara, I can't
on
hold
the
you.
second
The
try.
rope is slipping.
If you miss, you just spin around. And it's pre-programmed to work. So you're not really in control. There's another 50 XP, so just moving forward, moving slowly. It's getting close to like a Telltale
Go
game
back, Jonah!
where there's
Get the
no
shelter!
actual actions, or it's just all quick mechanisms. Now, if you don't hit that X, you will fall to your death. Just an instant death. And Lara Croft in the first game was very much prone to falling, and we've already seen her fall once and hit her head. But she's a lot more capable in this section than others. So I pressed X to hook it and slow myself down before it even prompted me to do that. In this part, there's no collectibles or anything. We will run into collectibles as a normal later. But right now, either this area was not finished with any collectibles, or they were just removed so we can have more of this action. that's, if you see a cutscene like this, you know that was what's supposed to happen. So, buried in snow, falling back. So maybe every part of the game up to that point is a dream. That's very possible. 2 weeks earlier, you get this 15-minute tutorial. This is weird because Lara Croft does have a manor, but apparently it's not in London, England. It's out in one of the other cities. Not that the UK is a
cruelty of life.
Giant
we're all
area.
too swiftly taken from it.
So she's working out of an apartment
age,
for
we decay, we die.
some reason.
But what do we leave behind?
And her
Bones?
father was researching reincarnation,
What of the
which
soul?
is what we ran into in the first
Does it
game.
endure
So
beyond
it's
our
kind of
earthly
repetitive.
existence?
Except for this time,
I believe it does.
it's potentially the
Truth
Holy
lies at the
Grail
heart of
that
many
we're
myths and
finding.
stories. A truth not of science, but
And
something
it is
more
also
profound.
very potentially that throughout this
The
game
key
you'll
to
see
unlocking everlasting life.
we're going to go to a temple of the prophet.
I
and
may
it
have
looks
found
like
the
it
next
might be
piece to the puzzle,
some kind of temple
but
for Jesus Christ.
I'm not alone in this
Which,
search.
how can you
They're following me.
have a
Watching
story
my
around the
every
Holy
step.
Grail and Jesus
I know
Christ
them
as
by
the
name
second
now.
game in a series that is
Trinity.
probably going to be at
An
least
ancient
3
violent
games, if
sect
not
with designs
4,
on controlling
5,
the future
6
of humanity.
games. Like, how do you
I
step
must
it up from
proceed
there?
carefully for the sake of my family.
I
If
don't know.
anything were to ever happen to Lara or Anna,
There's Lara Croft
I
as a little
could
girl,
never forgive
and then
myself.
in the background is all of the people from the first game, not many of which actually survived. So somebody was spying, and we were looking through the spy's eyes, then not through Lara's eyes. But there's literally nothing to do. This is just all a cutscene. Out of engine too, so it looks better. But even at the highest custom setting that the NVIDIA experience told me, her hair effects still kind of clipped through her shoulder. In fact, even at high settings, it looks like they might work a little bit better. Anytime you have a game that has a big focus on hair, yeah, you can see it slightly clipping through the jacket. It doesn't quite render right. It doesn't look smooth and natural.
It's me, Anna. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
I'm not
What
sure
are you doing
if
here?
Anna was
I saw
a
the gutter press was
potential
attacking you again.
girlfriend
I thought you could use some
of her
company.
father
No lies. Were you followed?
after she was
Followed?
born,
Of course not.
or if
What's
she's
going
just
on?
like a mother. She
think
may
I
be
thought that
Laura's
too.
mother, but she
Oh,
calls
you
her
can't
by
be
Anna.
serious.
The myth of the prophet is real. Dad was right.
Lara, your father was unwell.
No, he was close to a great discovery, tangible evidence of the immortal soul.
I loved Richard. I would have married him if he'd asked.
The subtitles are not
But he was a
100%
broken man.
accurate. She said
I don't
Ivan,
want to
it
see you
was
end up
written
like him.
I.
But Anna, he was right. It was everyone else who was wrong. The tomb's in Syria.
Syria? Oh God, Laura, no. This is madness. Get your life sorted. Go home to the manor.
Wow, she's
You know I
blinking
can't
a
go back
lot.
there.
But this obsession ruined your father.
Is that face capture? Did they face capture an
I saw
actress that
something.
just was blinking
Something
like crazy?
I can't explain. Now I understand what Dad was going through.
It's all fairy tales. Nonsense. Don't go down this road. You know where it leads.
It's the only thing that makes sense to me now. I'm going to find the prophet's tomb, Anna.
And some of that, there's some Easter eggs on the back of the wall referencing what's going to happen in this game and what happened in the previous game. So this is the tutorial or the demo I saw
Hey,
them play
we're heading into a war
E3
zone
and
now.
other
Better be
shows
sure
like
about
that.
this.
In
We're
Syria.
close.
There should be an oasis in the canyon
And
just
it kind of
ahead.
sucks because
You're wasting your
you
time.
do this whole
There's nothing out
Syria
here.
level, and
Just keep driving,
then
please.
you're back to
It's your money.
Siberia, and it seems like you're going to spend most of the game in Siberia after this tutorial.
Something isn't right.
It feels almost like somewhere it was lost in
that's just local
translation, and
militia.
somebody meant to write Siberia, and they accidentally wrote Syria, and
You told someone,
Square
didn't
Enix
you?
Japan just
They
went
paid
with
better
it.
than you.
So the bad guys just
Shit!
shoot
They
the
weren't
guy,
supposed to shoot at us!
Get us out of
the
here!
traitor.
Shit! No, no, no!
These are the bad guys from Trinity. They're very well equipped, and yet they seem to be mostly hidden. Although it seems like bad guys know where to apply if they want to work for Trinity. Those are nice looking fingers. Hands and fingers in particular are not well animated. Sadly, we've got, for a short time here, we've got Lara in probably the most revealing outfit. This is still all cutscene, by the way. And this is just a callback to the Tomb Raider reboot game, where she falls down and has a spike through her. At least this time she just fell down.
No turning back. It has to be here.
So she's got blood all over her, and she's in a respectable tank top. There is something interesting that you may notice right now. When she puts her gun up, it does not animate. It's just like totally wrong. And this is the default outfit. You don't get to a point where you can change outfits or anything until much later in the game. So why that didn't animate, I don't know. It, I guess, doesn't really matter. At least for this outfit, maybe it animates better for other outfits.
There was something in Dad's research about this.
It was said the Prophet's tomb was hidden in the cliffs above one of the forgotten cities. Legend speaks of an oasis where the Prophet was laid to rest.
Now, you need to be a little bit careful here if you want to get everything, but not too careful yet. Things aren't hidden vertically in this game so far from what I've seen. Things are just on the ground, and as long as you see them, you're fine.
Something's here.
Now, I just hit the survival instinct option, which the game hasn't told you about, but it lights things up in different colors and tells you where to go. Sadly, you're going to use it a lot, and it's going to make the game
A religious
annoying.
icon. Detailed and inlaid with gems. It looks Byzantine, perhaps 10th century. It fits with the legend of the Prophet.
So you have a cross, so the Prophet seems like it's Jesus. They haven't come out directly so far and said it was Jesus, but so it might be a false Christian prophet. But yeah, once we get into the main game, you're going to do this a lot. Looking for things, particularly if you want to play the way I want to play, which is as an OCD
Could this really be it?
collectible person. This is a slightly weird way that she gets in. I would think you would just crawl in head first and not roll, but whatever.
1,000 years old,
And
at least.
no
It all
longer
lines up.
does she use torches. She has different colored light up sticks. It's kind of odd that the sticks actually change colors in different places.
Incredible.
So no longer will we walk through
Some kind of
waterfalls and put out our
Can't
flame,
quite make out the
which
translation.
I think happened in the previous
This
game. It
way.
certainly has happened in other games.
Prophet.
See,
This
in
is
the
it.
previous game they had a real fetish for
Dad was right.
making Lara Croft be cut up and covered in blood. The good news is after this section, they stopped doing that. So, we need to read this.
Seems to be a map of some sort, but I can't quite read the words.
But you can't read it until you've looked at the murals, which increases your language proficiency, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because at this point Lara Croft should be at the very least out of college, so her proficiency should be high enough to read some of it.
Okay, he's shown here performing healing miracles. Dad's notes mention this.
And see, you have some late Christian depictions of a prophet with a halo around his head, the standard white Jesus, that like you would expect from later Christian depictions. And you assume this is Jesus. You assume that. Maybe
it's the prophet. Speaking with a foreign army, he convinced them to lay down their weapons.
It may be that it's not. Yeah, I've said that.
These are the miracles of the prophet of Constantinople, unjustly murdered by order of Trinity.
Well, then, if that's the case, Constantinople doesn't make sense. You're barely even getting any light from this until you're in a really, really dark area. Now that my language proficiency is higher, I can read this.
My Greek is still a little rusty, but it's pointing to something hidden nearby.
And
I'll mark down the locations.
Look at our map. And player beacons. And we can set a player beacon, which you won't do for quite a long time. There's also a challenge to shoot incense burners. I never even 15% into the game got the Baba Yaga DLC missions unlocked. I imagine you have to do that later. A lot later. But the map is going to tell us what we need to find. There's not a lot of things in this area, and it would be really hard to miss them. But also, there's not really an easy way to come back to this section. Now what's weird is you collect these ancient coins and they give you experience more than anything else. I never ran into anybody that took them, but I may have been a few steps away.
He led his followers through the desert to the oasis.
And you want this XP, and you want to do everything.
Still no sign of her. I don't think she survived the crash.
All right, let's go. Constantine wants to breach the tomb before sundown.
They're after the tomb.
Interesting.
I've got to find it before them.
So there's a Constantine with a K who's the bad guy. And we'll see him later. And that's been long enough for an episode, so I don't know if you can even save. You can see my last save was 14%. So if we just overwrite this and then see, we are in Syria at 1% done. The percentages move forward as the story moves forward. It doesn't seem like it has too much to do with anything as far as collectibles. Here's our survival guide, which is our help. And we've already seen the map. There's a ton of stuff on the map that we will eventually sort of need, but not really. This section in particular is just how much you can hold of items that you can't even pick up right now, even if you ran into them. And rather quickly, you're going to fill up most of them to the max and then craft items with things. The Byzantine coins, 850 of those are all you can hold, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are only 850 in the entire game. And then you could go back and look at documents that I think I've probably already collected, and that's why you see them here. either that or... nope. I guess not. Yeah, I don't see why anything would come over from the previous game. That wouldn't make much sense, would it? Well, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.